I usually try to underpromise and overdeliver, but I will tell you that the sporting class that David Samson does with John Skipper and Pablo Torre has more good sports business information per square inch than anyone doing it anywhere that I have heard. If you really want some expertise on what's happening in business, he also has his own podcast. The Sporting Class is coming out tomorrow with John Skipper, David Samson, and Pablo Torre. And you guys have covered the NBA rights fiasco here for a while, and I want to ask you some specific questions, but I also urge the audience to go to Nothing Personal, the podcast he does live and daily at 8 a.m. every day on DraftKings Network. So I want to ask you specifically, though, about the mess that they have on their hands where TNT, initially, the CEO of everything that's being run over there, said don't need to have the basketball rights. And now everyone's fighting for the basketball rights, and Charles Barkley is calling his bosses fools for not solidifying this. Can you tell me a short answer, or as much as you can, given how much we're talking about here, what has been botched the most, and are you at all surprised that basketball with declining ratings is going to get a giant number?
You are going to love the show that we release tomorrow. So I'll try to really sum this up in 60 seconds and tell you, I, for one, don't think that Turner has botched this at all. I think when he told his investors that he didn't need the NBA, he was serious and he was right. And I think that Adam Silver has played it just fine. They've got plenty of bidders. They'll have a package with NBC, Amazon, and ESPN. And Charles Barkley is going to be fine as well. I appreciate that he's upset having to change networks, but I also assure you it's all going to work out for him as a free agent. So all of the negativity around basketball leaving Turner, it will disappear within moments of hearing the music at NBC. So I think this is truly much ado about nothing.
Really? So you're telling me that there was nothing botched here in the losing of basketball?
We had quite an argument on Sporting Class. No, remember, he answers to investors. We're talking about David Zaslav. We're talking about Warner Brothers Discovery. We're talking about a company with a huge amount of debt, crippling debt. We're talking about a package that may not actually make money. We're talking about the ability to get out of deals that were huge deals signed with the inside of the NBA crew. We're talking about share price that has been stagnant. We're talking about a much bigger business than the NBA, and that is Warner Brothers Discovery. So he is the chairman of all of it, not just Turner Sports.
Without spoiling what it is that you guys did for tomorrow, because I didn't know that a huge argument broke out, you are voicing something I have not heard. Is it about that? Is it about you saying that this is of no harm to TNT, which doesn't have anything like this on its menu?
Yes, this is it. And we also talk about ratings, where you spend a lot of time on your show, as do so many other people, talking about where the ratings are and are they up and are they down. And we try to uncover the truth behind ratings, which is no one actually cares when they're about to write a check or selling the rights to their league. Ratings never come up in negotiations.
You have mentioned that before, and the TV rights deals are what's funding everything in sports. I thought that the reason that Mark Cuban got out, Mark Cuban, who's got a great love of basketball and has a great instinct for financial things and what the future will look like, I thought the reason that he got out on this thing that he most loves is because Luka's now up for $350 million. Kyrie's up for 200-something else million on max deals. And he's saying to himself, this isn't sustainable. I'm getting out before the next rights deal. And now I see dollars with this rights deal that I was not expecting.
Yeah, Mark Cuban knew very well what the rights deals would be going forward when he made this deal. As a matter of fact, the valuation for the Mavericks was based upon what the revenue would be coming to each of the NBA teams. He is no fool. I think that it's far more about estate planning, but I don't want to get too far into that. But a lot of owners sell teams for estate planning purposes. And Cuban was not taken by surprise, nor was any owner. In baseball, we were directed years in advance what the new TV deals would be, because we do projections for payrolls based on what revenue would be coming from the league.
You have said before around here that ratings don't matter. Just for the audience, can you explain why it is that this does not matter?
Because what companies do when they are trying to acquire content, they are trying to justify subscription revenue. Back in the days of cable with regional sports networks, you had to get people to subscribe to your, whether it's Spectrum or Optimum, pick a cable company. And what you did is you would pay $9 a month and you would get a channel, or $50 a month and you would get a tier of channels. And these channels had to be on cable, and the cable company needed to buy these channels, and the channels needed to buy the content. Do you get it? All the revenue was flowing upstream. Nobody talked when we did a Marlins TV deal. Hey, do you know only 20,000 people watch your games? What Fox said to us, or Cablevision, is we need something on Fox Sports Florida, and we're willing to pay you blank based on the amount of subscribers who have Fox Sports Florida. And the reason the regional sports networks went bankrupt is that all of a sudden people were cutting the cord. They were only paying for what they want. And when you do that, there's not enough money to spread around. That's why the entire TV landscape has changed. And that's why a la carte has happened. But the irony, which we love to talk about, is that now they're bundling everywhere again, where if you get Hulu or Disney, or you can get Max also, and you're combining all of these networks. So it's really quite funny. We talk about that tomorrow too.
So David, do we have enough of an idea? Power through that one. Do we have enough of an idea of where the revenue is going to come from, so that this is just another TV rights deal? Or is it something that this is more significant than that? Because right now it seems to me that if they weren't losing Turner, not too many people would be talking about this.
I think it's more because of inside the NBA. I try to remind people that David Letterman moved from NBC to CBS, and people were shocked at that, but it was the end of a contract and NBC didn't want to pay the price, and he didn't get the job he wanted. There's a whole show about the late night wars, but he ends up on CBS and keeps going and everything's fine. There was a time when the football NFL changed networks and it ends up being just fine. People will be used to finding the Sunday night game on NBC. They'll be used to the new announcers, maybe coming back, some of the old announcers. I really don't think Adam Silver even gave this a thought. And there's a lot of talk about he's angry with Turner for saying we don't need the NBA. That's all horse hockey. It's all based on what the bids are and what is in the best interest of the NBA. And they want games on NBC.
Can you explain to me when you say that everyone's overbidding, that it's very possible that none of them will make their money back, that it'll be a losing money proposition? Can you explain to me why that's okay?
It's only okay when you don't have an asset and you decide to overbid to get the asset. And then you live with it for a while and you say, wow, the shine is gone. The juice is no longer worth the squeeze. You've seen networks lose money. Fox is a great example when they got into the NFL. It was an absolute money-losing proposition, but it was like a loss leader to build up their network, to bring attention to The Simpsons, frankly. And eventually it worked, and then they're able to allocate revenue to make different deals look okay. Turner said to themselves, there's no way to put lipstick on the pig anymore. We're losing money on this deal.